Beautiful day here in South Georgia. It's about noon. It's a cool day for us. It's about 90 degrees. Down here in this little bottom. Got a little swamp in front of me. And I'm working and been up early. I've got a lot done already. So it's one of those days where you feel really accomplished because you've gotten so much junk done. And I came by, saw this tree left over from a hurricane, clearly a hurricane, and clicked in my brain. And I keep notes in my phone of like things that I want to do videos on. Some of it is if I have time or if it's the right moment. Today seemed like the moment. Not in a big hurry, headed back that direction. And, just had a lot of rain recently, and I was listening to the water go through this little creek here. A lot of hog damage down in this bottom. That's unfortunate, but we're never going to escape evil or hogs. I've done several videos in the past few months on a group of individuals asking me to discuss something that I had been involved in like 18 years ago, and debated it. Ultimately, I made the decision to get involved with it to help one person. It was that simple for me, that I needed to get involved to support that person because it's a good person. I knew going into it that it would be painful for me. I knew that I would be diving into something from 18 years ago that's stored, I don't know, over there somewhere. Ultimately, I did get involved, and ultimately it didn't turn out like I thought it would. Kind of call that worldviews, like how you think things, the world's going to be. But in this situation, I think I've classified it, and the experts came up with this years ago, is that, administrative betrayal is traumatic as, it's a traumatic event, the loss of someone, an event you're involved in, it's horrific, graphic, whatever. Administrative betrayal is the system fails you. Generally, it's not the system that fails. It's generally people within that system. I've learned that people sometimes make bad decisions, just bad call. Some people have their own agenda. Some people are sneaky. Emerson wrote, and I'm not a big guy of quoting people, but I like Walt Whitman. I like, Ralph Emerson. And it hangs up in our house, this thing called To Succeed. And it falls into that of, there's a line, enduring the betrayal of false friends, being able to digest that and to grow from that. In this particular situation, I trusted people that I probably shouldn't have trusted. But I don't ever want to be that guy that's bitter and doesn't try to see the good. God gave me a brain and I try to use it, but I still try to see the good when I can. I never wanted to be that guy that retired and was bitter. I do enjoy the solitude of the woods. And yes, there are days I come here for isolation, but today's clearly a solitude day as the sun starts to peek out upon us. And so I was set back a notch, pretty angry. I was kind of going through the different emotions, and I went from being very upset about this event, emotionally upset, to just pure anger. I was just pissed. For lack of better words, I was mad, So mad that I reached out to two people. And the first person I called is someone who's not trained in psychology, he's not a clinician, isn't a psychologist, isn't a psychiatrist, isn't trained in anything. And it really didn't dawn on me until this all came together, is that he is a very analytical person, very analytical. He was also a very powerful man of authority and a man of position, and who also experienced a severe dose of administrative betrayal. Really bad. I reached out to him, and the first thing I said was, I want to talk about something, but I just want you to listen. Don't try to make it better, because you're not going to make it better. I just want you to listen. Roger that. So we talk about this in other videos, that you've got to have that support group, right? You've got to have that support. So he listened, didn't say much. I said, hey, thank you. The second person I reached out to, and I only reached out to 2 people after the bomb hit, is a very religious guy. We talk about him in other videos. His name's Mario. He's my Cuban buddy. I don't understand half, a quarter of what he says, depending on how fast he talks. Same thing. I told him, you're going to listen. I'm going to talk. We're going to leave it at that. Roger that. And then it dawned on me. I was like driving down the road and I was like, wait a second. I reached out to 2 people. None of them are in the business of emotions or feelings or, psychology, I reached out to an analytical person and a religious person to somehow help me process what I perceived as betrayal. And that was it. So today is Thursday. Saturday morning, my phone rings from the analytical person. And he says, are you home? I said, yeah. He goes, I'm bringing you those turkey breasts. Click. The guy lives like 25 miles from me. There was no negotiating whether I was going to be home for a while or whatever, right? So he's a turkey hunter. He knows that I've been bitten by a tick and I can't eat any red meat. And so he's bringing me a frozen turkey breast. Comes to the house. I mean, come on. I know what he's doing, right? It wasn't the content or the lack of conversation. It was the effort that he took to put me in that moment in time. And we sat. And he said, I know the rules. But will you at least listen? And I did. And you could see the emotions, which is probably better than the angry emotion that I've been feeling since this happened 8 days ago when the bomb hit. The point of the video is, when you reach out for help, think about what it is that you're getting from that person and what are you seeking? I didn't seek the psychology route. I didn't seek how the brain processes data. I didn't seek any of that. I sought analytical and religious. And I instructed them not to make me feel better. And it really was. It was the effort that the turkey breast guy took. That was it. Now, when he got his bomb hit on him years ago, yeah, it was my effort to not talk about it, but just to know that I was in the present. So when you're out there and your loved ones and your friends and your family and whoever, if they ever get jammed, right? Maybe it's the effort, right? Just showing up. And I read about that in one of the books. It's like the first thing of peer support. Just show up, man. I don't really recall any great conversations Saturday between me and the turkey breast guy. Sitting there under our lean-to, 2 guys just talking. We're old guys now, but it was that effort. There was no options for me to go, hey, I'm busy, I'm not going to be here, I'm leaving in 2 hours. Boom, he just showed up. So what does that back there have to do with this video? Well, I'm fixing to show you, and I'm not on a big schedule today, but I got to go pretty soon. So hang on. We got this little swamp, pretty cool little creek coming through with all of our rain. And this is what I stumbled across. It's like God threw me a bone. So I can tell you what happened here. Big tree. Hurricane came through, grabs big tree, pushes hurricane over. Hurricane comes over and hits this other big tree, knocks this big tree down. All right. wipes it out, and there you go. So one tree that's clearly dead is supporting another tree that's clearly dead. And I think that is just phenomenally cool. So a lot of times in life, that's what we do. So I'm pretty sure that I reached out to the analytical guy, the turkey breast guy, the religious guy, which is Mario, my Cuban friend, because I needed this. I just needed support. I doubt seriously when this all went to hell, right? The skies came down upon these two massive trees that are just living the dream. I doubt there was a lot of conversations about, hey, this is how it's going to go down and this is what I'm going to do. But even after their death, I mean, it is true, trees die. They're still supporting, you know? And for years they grew next to each other and their roots were supporting each other and taking a little water here and taking a little water there. And that might be too deep for some of you folks. But the moral to the story is, administrative betrayal is a real thing. And we can probably do a whole nother video on moral injury. But part of digesting betrayal, as Emerson said, is enduring it. It is. It's part of the process. I went into it with the right intentions. I wanted to do the right thing to help one person. Maybe I did help that person. I don't see it help me out so much. Maybe I made a good video out of it. And maybe that'll help some of you out there. So who am I today? I am a guy that's a hell of a lot better off than I was 8 days ago. I can promise you that. Because I had some venom in me. I don't like venom in me. I'm a loving man. Sometimes I think that's the devil trying to grab my toe, and maybe he grabbed it for a minute or two or a day or three, but nah, not no more. I'm down here where I belong. It's solitude today, not isolation. And I am absolutely loving life. That's who I am today. So I hope this video works for y'all. I hope that it resonates. I hope you share it. And when it hits the fan and the skies unearth and the bomb drops and the trees fall, analyze who you reach out to. And in my case, I needed to talk to an analytical person, a religious person, and I got a bonus kicker. The analytical guy brought me a massive turkey breast that my bride is probably going to fix this weekend. Y'all have a great day.